Hello, my name is Santiago, and this is my brother Max.
Hello! Hi! Hello!
Our family is trying to grow as much as our own food as possible. This video shows part of our journey on the path to a more sustainable living. We have our own garden, and we grow many foods like kale, onions, and lettuce. And we make our own compost. And in the compost pile, we have many beneficial worms that help the garden. And our chickens also love the worms. We have chickens that give us delicious eggs, usually 4 through 8 a day, and very delicious meat. And now we are trying to take it to the next level by getting goats for milk. We are really excited because we have not been able to get a cat or a dog since my brother Max is allergic to them. But we will be able to have adorable goats outside without Max having an allergic reaction. Unfortunately, when we looked into getting goats, we found out they are not legal in Eugene unless you have over 22,000 square feet. That is over half an acre. Even though many breeds like Nigerians are smaller than an average-sized dog, and yet any kind of dogs are allowed in the city. That just doesn't make sense. There are many benefits of goats, and one of the many is their milk. One benefit of having fresh milk from your backyard is that you don't have to get your milk from factory farms hundreds of miles away that use tons of gasoline to ship their milk and ship them in plastic jugs and treat their cows like this. Now, we know why we want goats in our backyard for their adorableness and healthy fresh milk, but we wanted to learn more about them. So we decided to interview some experts. Meet Kenya. She lives in the middle of Portland. She has 3 goats and has workshops every year about raising goats.
We pay about $20 for a bag of food, and they go through that in about, I would say, a month and a half.
Feeding that to other animals.
Oh yeah, we're feeding ducks with that too.
Oh,
so that's 3 small goats and 2 ducks. And a turkey. Then a bale of alfalfa. I think it takes them a little less time to go through the alfalfa. What would you say, about a month for one bale? And that costs about $18.
The alfalfa.
Wow. Yeah.
That's all organic.
Is it organic?
Yeah,
Nice.
all the feed we get is organic.
So if you could compare these to a dog or a cat, goats.
As a pet?
Yeah, what do you think would?
They're more high maintenance than a cat because you have to do more than just leave food out for them. You have to trim their hooves once a month.
Yeah.
You have to. They also, like, especially these goats, because they're used to being around people all the time. They need a lot of attention. They need to be around people, otherwise they get really sad. They're so happy you guys are here right now. Getting petted. And as far as a dog, I'm not a dog owner, so I don't really know. I guess the walking, you have to walk a goat probably a third as much as a dog, would be my guess.
And, do you think this pet is sustainable in the fact that it gives more than it takes?
It's hard to say exactly because we haven't really, we've been in transition with these goats for the majority of the time that we've owned them. So I think ideally, yes, if you have goats, they, because of the milk production factor and the adorable baby pet factor, it definitely gives back a lot.
They can also offer fiber if you get...
depending on the breed.
Oh, that's
yeah,
true,
like,
huh?
I think in Oregon there was the Angora, which is like a pygmy Angora breed. That was
They have real
here.
long hair.
So you can get small goats that also provide fiber. And then, yeah, of course,
There are actually a couple blocks from here.
they do look like sheep.
These two white ones are male Pygoras.
Wow.
Oh, these are goats?
I can't remember what breed Abby is. She may be the same. Do you know what breed she is?
Wow, they're beautiful.
But that's the girl one.
Huh. So
They're
normally their
huge.
fur is even longer too?
Yeah, before it got cut, it was like you couldn't even like see their shape. They looked like sheepdogs or something.
Aw.
And the poop?
And the poop is good fertilizer. Yep. And let's see what else. They are good weed control. Yeah.
You could potentially eat them.
You could eat them if you wanted to do that. They do provide a lot. I mean, they also can carry 1/3 of their weight. So if you want to take them hiking, they can carry some water. Or, you know, like a camping stove or something. Yeah. Yeah, you don't have to bring their food. Yeah. I would say an animal, definitely an animal that gives back more than a dog, in my opinion.
Yeah.
When we were in Portland, we also learned about an urban farm hostel called Tierra Sol. And they had goats. Lucky. So we went there and we got to ask them lots of questions about goats in the city. We even watched them milk their goats. They got almost half a gallon.
We love raw milk. We're huge fans of raw milk. And you can't have a cow in the city, but you can have goats. So, we got goats. In Portland, we get to have 3 animals, excluding dogs and cats. We're allowed maybe 4 goats and 8 ducks or something because we had 7 ducks. It's been about 2.5 years that we've had our goats.
Guys,
Oops.
So that's alfalfa pellets and more alfalfa. We feed them alfalfa because it's really high in protein, which is important, especially when they're lactating, which is basically saying milk. I've started putting this little latch on, this little extra bit on here because the littlest one here knows how to open this latch. She'll stand there and she'll get this thing popped up. Pretty clever. And so this is Persephone. She's a mini Nubian, a Nubian crossed with a Nigerian dwarf. This is Gumdrop, and she is a Nigerian dwarf. And this little girl doesn't have a name. We haven't named her. And she is Gumdrop's remaining daughter. Her other 2 daughters have gone on to someone else's home. And Persephone's 2 little boys have gone on to other places. It's just easier for me. And I put the first bit of milk, squirt the first bit of milk not into the jar because there can be dirt and crud there. So express a bit of milk so that it clears out the milk ducts.
Yeah.
And the end of at the end of the teat. And then
I do have one.
and this little girl, because she's so small, has really small teeth, so I have to milk her in a very different way with just my hands are so big. It's kind of funny. Okay, so where are we at here? We've got just over a cup today.
That's pretty good.
But, you know, her daughter probably ate almost that much.
See it?
One of the things milking her is that not only do we get a lot more milk, but it all happens a lot faster. Milking a mini Nubian or a Nigerian dwarf is really it's hard. It's because of the size of the teats, and then because the amount of milk that you get per squeeze is so much less that it just takes a lot longer. And I've gotten to where I don't get cramps in my hands anymore, but for quite a while I would every time I milked I would have a cramp in my hand. Well, there's a funny thing about goat milk, and that is that it's naturally the shape and size of the fat keeps it suspended in the milk, so it doesn't actually rise to the top and separate. So if you want to separate out goat's cream, which you can do, you have to use a machine, a centrifuge, which separates it out because it's heavier, it's more dense.
Have you ever?
Yeah.
Wow, that's a lot of milk.
Yeah, and there's a bit of foam there, up to about there, but
okay.
it'll probably end up about right there.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, and this is the morning milking. So, we're getting over half a gallon a day right now. But we make yogurt with it, and we drink it.
After we learned more about goats in the city, we decided to ask our local councilman, George Brown, and he was all with the idea of changing the law. He encouraged us to organize people from different neighborhoods that are supportive of goats in the city. So we started a petition and got a group of people together. And then we spoke in a city council meeting. Mayor Kitty Piercy was very supportive, and she grew up with goats, so she understands why we wanted milking goats. And she even befriended us on our Eugene Urban Goats Facebook page. The council agreed to have a working session on the topic, where they discussed the law and possibly decide to vote on whether to change the law or not. But me and my family, we're feeling pretty lucky, because 5 out of the 8 council members said they are excited about having goats in the city.
We have 20 people signed up, and just so the council knows, a great many of them are about goats.
Now, we just need to get our backyard ready for the goats!